So I hope mammary gland, everybody, like it's a very important essay question. So under these headings, usually the question will be asked like introduction, situation, position and extent, shape, parts and structure. So these are the headings under which we are need to discuss our answers. Shape, part, structure, relations, axillary tail of spines, blood supply, lymphatic drainage, nerve supply, development, and also applied aspects. It's a very, very important essay question, mammary gland. So the mammary gland, we know like it is a secondary sexual feature of females and it is the source of nutrition for the newborn baby. It's present in males also, but it's not developed and it is rudimentary. Modified, and we know like mammary gland is modified sweat gland which is situated in the superficial fascia anterior to the pectoral muscles and the anterior thoracic wall. Now see here, now this is the thoracic cage. You can see sternum is present in the midline, clavicle superiorly, and you can see the humerus bone on either side. So now you can see the position and extent. So this is the vertical extent we have and this is the horizontal extent we have. So vertically, when you check the mammary gland's position, it is extending. You can count the ribs, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. So that is the vertical extent, and horizontally it is extending at the level of fourth costal cartilage. See, this one is fourth costal cartilage and the lateral border of the sternum to mid axillary line. So like this. Okay, so this is the horizontal extent. Lateral border of the sternum, fourth costal cartilage and mid axillary line. So now if you observe now, because like you have already done like dissection, in the dissection hall we generally see like just below the mammary gland, because we know mammary gland is a modified sweat gland which is present in the superficial fascia. Once you remove the skin, we have superficial fascia, then we have deep fascia, isn't it? Then you will see like mammary gland is lying over this muscle, that is pectoralis major muscle. So two-thirds of this gland is resting on pectoralis major, and on the lateral aspect, that is in the mid-axillary plane region, we have a muscle serratus anterior. And in the midline from the knowledge of abdomen, we know like we have here rectus abdominis covered with rectus sheath. That means the mammary bed, the place where mammary gland is lying, it is covering three muscles. What are those? The rectus abdominis covering the rectus sheath, covered by rectus sheath, I'm sorry, and then we have pectoralis major and serratus anterior. These are the three muscles over which mammary gland is lying. Okay, then now coming to the shape and structure of mammary gland, it is hemispherical, conical, and it is pendulous. So when you see the cut section of mammary gland, it has fibrous tissue, it has glands and fatty tissue. Okay, now so generally we do not find any outermost covering or capsule for this gland. So it is present within the superficial fascia just below the skin subcutaneously. So and the subcutaneous tissue is connected to the skin by means of a thin skin surrounding the nipple which is called as areola. There you will see there are fibrous strands which we will see in the dissection when we are cutting that actually these strands are ligaments of Cooper or suspensory ligaments. The suspensory ligaments are the structures which are extending from the pectoral fascia. Now suppose this is the mammary gland and see it is resting over pectoralis major, below which you are finding pectoralis minor, higher up you will find subclavius. That means this is the mammary bed. And the fascia which is covering the pectoralis major is pectoral fascia. From the pectoral fascia till the skin, there are certain structures which are suspending the mammary gland, which is called as suspensory ligaments of Cooper. Okay. Now, these suspensory ligaments of Cooper are these structures which are keeping mammary gland erect. Suppose if there is any infection, you will see these suspensory ligaments will contract and then you will see there will be a dimple over the skin of the mammary gland. Okay, that means nothing but retraction of the mammary gland. Okay, in case of fibrosis and also in case of certain carcinomas of mammary gland. Now, in case if there is any infection in mammary gland, obviously there will be swelling. I'll show you with the help of another PowerPoint. Okay, so there you will see, if you just press over the skin, you will see there will be edema, and the appearance of the skin will be as though it is orange peel, orange fruit peel. So that condition is actually called as pseudo orange appearance, which generally is occurring due to inflammation. That means if there is any infection in the mammary gland, then you will see it becomes highly edematous, that is fully like it is loaded with the fluid, edema fluid. Okay, so that is leading to a orange peel type of appearance of the skin, which is called as pseudo orange appearance. Now, after that, we will see the glandular tissue. See, now this is whole of the mammary gland, and one side the skin has been exposed, like skin has been cut in order to show what are the structures we see. You are finding the radiating black lines, which are nothing but fibrous septae. In between the fibrous septae, you are finding green structures, which is nothing but glandular tissue, which is arranged in the form of lobes. Okay, so these are actually all lobules. Now, see here, the breast is made up of, if you just count these lobules, they will be around 15 to 20 in number. Okay, lobules of glandular tissue, which is embedded in fat. Whatever yellow in color you are finding, that is all fat. So lobules are separated by fibrous septa. These black lines are nothing but fibrous septa. Okay, between the fibrous septa, we are finding the lobules. Okay. Now, I told you these are nothing but from the skin to the pectoral fascia, we have suspensory ligament of Cooper. So each lobule, now see here, this is suppose if entire thing is considered as the lobule. Now you will see it is all made up of glandular tissue. Okay, so this glandular tissue is all made up of alveoli. Inside the alveoli, you will see the production of milk, and this milk is being moved to these ducts, which are the like main ducts. So, and finally this will be opening in the nipple region via lactiferous duct. Before the opening of lactiferous duct, you will find a small bulge, which is called as lactiferous sinus. Now see here, now this is the nipple region, and the skin surrounding the nipple is actually called as areola. Okay, areola will be pinkish in color in case of primi gravida. Primi in the sense who has not given birth to any children yet. Okay, but in case of after pregnancy and delivery, generally you will see the areola region becomes dark colored, dark brown color, and the color never comes back to pink. Okay, so that is all because of hormonal changes. Okay, now each lobule, now see this is one lobule, right? So it is draining by its lactiferous duct, and it is opening in the nipple, which is surrounded by pigmented areola. Okay, this area is lubricated by so many sebaceous glands which are underlying the skin of areola. Okay, so those sebaceous glands will be secreting oil so as to prevent the cracking of this areola when the mother is feeding the baby. Okay, so to prevent the cracking, you will see so many openings of sebaceous glands over here. Okay, and these glands are actually called as glands of Montgomery. Okay, so now see here, this is all not required. Now coming to the relations of mammary gland. See, this is the mammary gland and this is the mammary bed. So mammary bed is like what are the structures which you are finding here? Pectoralis major, pectoralis minor. So relations of mammary gland, see you are finding the posterior, like within the superficial fascia, you will see the mammary gland, and whatever space which is present just below the mammary gland over which the gland freely moves, that space is called as retromammary space. Okay, retromammary space. Now, the mammary gland is resting over this deep fascia, which is nothing but pectoral fascia covering the pectoralis major, below which you have pectoralis minor. As you see more laterally, this area you will see the rectus abdominis covered with rectus sheath. As you go more laterally, you will have the aponeurosis of external oblique abdominis muscle. More laterally in the mid axillary plane, we also have serratus anterior. Okay, so these are the structures over which mammary gland is resting. Now you will see basically mammary gland will be divided into 4 quadrants. If you draw one horizontal line and one vertical line, we have antero-superior, antero-inferior, posterior-superior, posterior-inferior quadrants. So posterior-superior quadrant is entering into the axilla. So you call this as axillary tail of Spence. Okay. A smaller part of the upper outer quadrant is prolonged towards the axilla, which is actually called as axillary tail of Spence. Usually it lies in the subcutaneous fat. Okay. Then we will talk more when we are doing lymphatic drainage. Now, after that, now let us see the arterial supply. See, now what are the arteries we have? See, from the subclavian artery, you have one artery which is running down like this. You call it as internal thoracic artery or internal mammary artery. This artery we have studied in detail when we were doing thorax. Okay, then see now the continuation of this, you are finding this subclavian artery. Then subclavian arteries continuation, you will see axillary artery. From the axillary artery, you will see there will be one artery which is entering in the lateral region of the thorax. You call it as lateral thoracic artery. So you just try to remember the names of the major arteries, like you have the superior thoracic, acromiothoracic, lateral thoracic, and internal mammary. You can just try to remember a code SAL, SAL, like salt, SAL. Okay, so one is superior thoracic, then we have acromiothoracic, then we have lateral thoracic. One more is internal mammary artery. Okay, so just try to remember. See, from the internal mammary artery, if you observe in each intercostal space, we have all these intercostal arteries which are actually perforating to supply the mammary gland in the anteromedial, antero-superior and antero-inferior quadrant. Okay, so venous drainage, you again remember the same names like superior thoracic, SAL, acromiothoracic, lateral thoracic. Okay, so all these veins will be draining into the axillary vein. Okay, so venous drainage goes into axillary vein, internal thoracic artery we had. Now you should just replace it for internal thoracic vein. Okay, we have like intercostal arteries. Similarly, we have this. You just replace with the words like third to fifth intercostal veins. Okay, so these are the veins which are draining the mammary gland. Okay, they form a circle around the nipple and areola. You call it as circulus venosus. Okay, this is the circle. Okay, so what are the veins we have? We have axillary vein, internal thoracic vein, and the intercostal veins. Okay, then now coming to the axillary group of lymph nodes, these are the lymph nodes which are draining the mammary gland. So suppose if you take this pectoralis minor muscle as landmark, once you remove the pectoralis major, you will see pectoralis minor. So we have many group of lymph nodes which are related to axilla. Below the lower border of the pectoralis minor, we have anterior group. Okay, anterior lying like deep to the pectoralis major and below the lower border of pectoralis minor. Okay, then if you just go see, this is the axillary vein, whatever has been shown in blue color. So at the tip, like origin point of the pectoralis minor, lying over the axillary vein, we have central group of lymph nodes. Above the pectoralis minor, we have apical group of lymph nodes. Okay, now as you come down, now we are also going to study the boundaries of axilla. So in the anteriorly, like when you just extend the axilla, we have like below, like in the anterior border, we have posterior group and then we have lateral group of axillary lymph nodes. So all these axillary lymph nodes, now when we do the dissection, we inquire small nodule-like structures which are seen in the axilla region, which are 20 to 30 in number. So they are draining the mammary gland. Okay. Now these are the various groups. We have anterior, posterior, lateral, central and apical group of lymph nodes. Okay. So these lymph nodes again I will discuss later. Okay, now see here, all these lymphatics, now see this is the nipple region and this is the areola region. Now surrounding the areola, just below the skin of the areola, you are finding a lymphatic network which is forming a circle, okay, which is called a subareolar plexus of lymphatics. below the nipple, which is plexus of Sapi. Okay. Now, correspondingly, when you go into the deeper plane, we have one deeper plexus also on the pectoral fascia, which is called as lake of Haller. Okay. So that means they are representing the superficial and the deep part of the lymphatic drainage of mammary gland. Okay. Now, basically, I told you mammary gland is divided into how many quadrants? 4 quadrants. Now, suppose if you take this as midline, that means here we have the sternum. So, this is antero-superior quadrant, antero-inferior, posterior-superior and posterior-inferior quadrant. So, antero-superior quadrant is draining into internal mammary, also called as parasternal or mediastinal group of lymph nodes. 25% of lymph is going in this way. Okay, then axillary tail of Spence, which was extending from the anterolateral group. Okay, now you see here, just now we have studied about like axillary group of lymph nodes. So we have seen the names apical, anterior, posterior, lateral, isn't it? So like that, you are finding the lymph is now traveling from this region to central nodes, then axillary, and finally they will be going into apical group of lymph nodes. Okay, then antero-inferior plane, like in the lateral compartment, you are finding it is draining into external mammary or pectoral group of lymph nodes. Okay, now this antero-inferior quadrant of this will drain into subhepatic plexus. Actually, from here the lymph will go into the abdominal region. That's the reason if there is any lymph like cancer in the mammary gland, through this quadrant the cancer cells can spread to abdominal cavity, that is into the peritoneum, and through the peritoneal cavity the cancer can also spread to ovary, leading to a tumor in the ovary called as Krukenberg's tumor. Krukenberg's tumor, and the lymphatics are traveling through this like antero-inferior quadrant. Okay, so this is medial, isn't it? And this is lateral. So in the medial, like this is superior quadrant and this is inferior. So inferior quadrant is draining into subhepatic plexus. Okay, that is. Now coming to the nerve supply. So we have like intercostal nerves supplying the mammary gland. So like the mammary gland is innervated by anterior and lateral branches of 4th to 6th intercostal nerves. Okay, which carries sensory and also sympathetic efferent fibers. 4th to 6th word you try to remember. Okay, development is, from where does it develop? It's a modified sweat gland. It begins to develop as early as 4th week of intrauterine life as a thickened mammary ridge. Okay, that is developing from ectoderm along the milk line. See, this is all milk line, isn't it? So this is milk line. Actually, in the lower animals, you will see there are multiple mammary glands, because you will see throughout the milk line, you will see the formation of mammary gland. But in case of human beings, the other mammary glands which are developing from the milk line will disappear, and during puberty only the mammary gland of the pectoral region will modify to form the breast. Okay. Now coming to the anomalies of mammary gland, we have certain clinical conditions like amastia, where mammary gland is absent; athelia, that means there is no nipple; amasia, that means glandular tissue is not developed; polymastia means multiple mammary gland; polythelia is multiple nipples are there; gynecomastia is like in males, if mammary gland is growing, then you call it as gynecomastia. Sometimes the nipple may be retracted inside. There may be carcinoma of breast, which is quite common. Okay, so in the carcinoma breast only, you will see the nipple will become like it will be pulled inwards, which is called as retraction. Okay, so Pseudo orange, I already told you, the skin of the breast becomes as though it is orange peel. Okay, so and the lymph nodes, generally how to detect this breast tumor, we generally try to diagnose it by palpating the axillary group of lymph nodes. This axillary group of lymph nodes will become very much enlarged, and they will be hard on palpation, that is stony hard. Okay, and there may be secondary metastasis. Just now I told you the metastasis which is moving from the antero-inferior quadrant, it may go to subhepatic plexus, thereby it may go to ovary also, leading to Krukenberg's tumor. Okay. So how to treat generally in, suppose if the, in early stages, basically we have two types of conditions in mammary gland. One is fibroadenoma and then we have carcinoma. Fibroadenoma generally we see in young girls where small lump may be seen in the mammary gland, nothing to worry much. So in such case, like local incision is given and that lump is removed. That's what is fibroadenoma, and it will not recur. Recurrence rate is very less in case of fibroadenoma. Whereas in case of breast carcinoma, generally if it is severe and if it has spread to many parts of the body, generally we undertake radical mastectomy, that is removal of mammary gland. Okay. So generally when we are undertaking this mastectomy, removal of mammary gland, we should see like nerve to latissimus dorsi has to be preserved well. Okay, nerve to serratus anterior and medial and lateral pectoral nerves should not be cut while doing the removal of mammary gland. Otherwise, these muscles will not be able to contract. Okay, so there is a radiographic technique to detect breast cancer. That is what is called as mammography. Okay, I'll try to show you the pictures also. Breast abscess is formation of pus.